So we'll have 45 minutes together. The goal is really like to have the beginners session for how to use Hugging Face. All the tools that you're going to see today are free to use because most of our tools are really on the freemium tier, so you don't need to pay for anything. That said, you'll need to create an account. You can do it right now or later on if you prefer, because we will like explore the tools together. Feel free to ask me questions during this talk. I'll be really happy to answer them. In a nutshell, who I am, who am I? I worked for 20 years in journalism as a journalist, social media editor, data visualization specialist, and then as a manager of newsrooms, both in print and radio, TV, and digital, obviously. And a little bit down 6 months ago, I joined Hugging Face, which is the main open source AI platform tool, because I wanted to have an impact on an industrial scale, I would say. So let's dive in. Why open source? For many different reasons: accessibility, auditability, collaboration, community, no black box API, etc. I would say for journalism, there are important arguments to consider, such as you can look under the hood and see how the models were trained with what kind of data, especially regarding copyright questions. It's very important. And also, we are really bullish and focused on small specialized models, because we think you don't need to use a sledgehammer to crack a nut each time, which is basically what we're doing when we use ChatGPT or Claude for tasks such as translation or classification, whereas you can find really more small models that you can fine tune with your data. So, for example, if you want to adapt them for your tone or your database, it's where open source AI models shine, basically. And Hugging Face, in a nutshell, is a platform for collaborative AI. So you can find many different models developed by the main big developers such as Meta, OpenAI, Google, Microsoft, etc., but also researchers, developers. You can borrow them, you can improve them and share them with the community. And also you can find a lot of resources, people who are eager to help you on your use cases. So it's really a vibrant AI community in a nutshell. So I focused this presentation, and you can advance like on the 2 slides. Yeah, I'll wait for you. So the next one. So yeah, thanks. So I focused really on your needs and the needs of journalism and some use cases that could be useful for you. So let's say, well, I want to create an account. I'll let you do it right now or later on if you prefer. You'll need the accounts to experiment by yourself. But if you just want to follow up my presentation, no worries, stay with me. So I want to understand what AI can do in journalism. Can I share my screen instead of, because I want to show the websites. Wonderful, so I'll try this. Okay, perfect. So you should be able to see my screen now. So if you want to see what you can do with AI, the task homepage is really, really useful because it decipher in a sense, or it dissects what you can do. And as you can see, there are many different tasks that you can do. For example, feature extraction in text, summarization, translation, transcription, classification. So for example, you want to classify the comments on your website. Are they like positive, toxic, to be published or to be reviewed, that kind of thing. There are also many tasks in computer vision, and we'll see some examples together. For example, if you want to extract some text from video, if you have some handles or names you want to have. With audio, there are a lot of things. And we also have some more, the edge use cases, such as robotics or that kind of thing. And each time you click on a specific task, so let's say translation, you will have an explanation on how to use the models, etc. It's a little bit more technical, and this is something we will see together for the intermediate session. But for now, today we will focus only on no-code solutions. So rest assured, it's not going to be complicated. So it's just to give you a good overview. I strongly encourage you to join the Journalist and Thinking Phase community, because this is where you will find fellow people, fellow journalists who could help you on some use cases, but also we put a lot of efforts on creating resources for journalists, resources that we're going to see today. So you have the link and you can just click here to follow, and you'll be part of the community. So first example, let's say you want to scrape websites without coding, because historically you need to understand some Python or libraries. But with this tool, you can just prompt your words and the AI will take care of the rest. And I think it's probably the most important development or aspect of AI, which is you can talk to the machine with your own words. So let's see with this example. Let's say you want to have all the press releases of the whitehouse.gov website. So you have your URL here and you just prompt it. And we're going to wait a little bit to see the result. And normally you will have a JSON file. And the JSON file is really useful if you want to ingest this in a program. But if you want, let's say, to have a CSV file, which is more convenient for, let's say, a Google Sheet or Excel, you could also, let me click on this button. You could also clone the space, duplicate the space, and improve it with your own code. And if you want, to reshare it with the community. So here, as you can see, remarks by President Biden announcing cessation of hostilities between Israel and Hezbollah, and you have the URL, and so on. So all the website has been scraped for you. If you want to analyze bias in image generation tools, and this is really important both in terms of for yourself understanding how the models are trained, but if you want to do some coverage for your audience, for example, Wired wrote this very interesting story during the campaign about why AI is bad at generating images of Kamala Harris. You can do it with this tool, which is a tool that helps you compare different models, and you can prompt, let's say, a professional specialization, and you can ask the model to generate the images. So it will generate, memory is good, it will generate 10 different images. So you will really be able to see the bias, and it will analyze the gender, the color of the skin, the approximate age, and if it's not safe for work, let's say, or more like could be disturbing in a sense. I won't wait for the generating result, but I'll come back to this later on. But it can be like really, really useful during, for example, an electoral campaign. You can ask like, hey, generate an image of a politician in X or Y country, and you will see like, is it biased or not? It could be interesting, and you can prompt as many images as you want. This one, I really like it because, transcribing interviews, it's something I don't know many people like to do. But this one is really so it's a collection and you have different transcription tools, but the first one is my favorite one because what it does is you will download what we call the weights on your computer. So once the weights are downloaded, you can cut off your internet connection if you want, but there's no need. But just to illustrate, it will do the transcription on your computer without sending any information to an external server. So it will stay completely confidential. It will be just in your computer. So you can select from a URL. So that's a video or an MP3 file, and take it from your computer, or you can also record a conversation. So let's say you have an interview with someone, you can run the transcriptor and it will transcribe everything. This is powered, by the way, by, I think the model behind it is a Whisper Turbo large. So you can really, it's quite fast and really efficient, and it doesn't overload your computer, so you can do some other tasks on it. And I see a question, what are the languages used in Hugging Face? So especially for this tool, for example, you can see the little wheel in the right corner, and you can select a lot of different languages, approximately like not every language, but a lot. I just say that with the most common languages, the word error rate would be very low. But if your language is less spoken, the error rate will increase a little bit. You could fine tune the model if you have some data sets, but just be careful with this. But like, let's say for English, French, German, Chinese, the word error rate would be around maybe 2-3%, which is very low. So a very useful tool for this. And you can also perform like either transcribing or translating to English for your audio file. I went by too fast. So yeah, the resources, the no-code resources are on the Journalist on Hugging Face community. To answer the question in the chat, which is you have the URL in the slides, in the previous slides. Let's see. Oops, don't have my result. Oh, demo effect. Oh, sorry. I asked too many requests today, so you'll have to do it on your own, and then you'll have the result, because I was preparing for the presentation today. Let's say you want to edit some photos or thumbnails for a social media post, and you're not a black belt in Photoshop. Well, you will find many different interesting tools in this collection, such as this one. So let's say you want to erase the basketball. You just prompt the model. So again, with your words, what do you want to remove from the picture? You click erase object, and then the result is here. So the original photo, the result. And as you can see, the model took care of the basketball, but also of the shade of the basketball. So quite useful for several examples. And let me go back to my presentation. You can have also some models to extract something from an image. So let's say here, I want the cup. Oops, sorry, cut out object. The model will run. And you will see, takes maybe 10 seconds. So the original photo and my mug. So you can download it, and you have a PNG file that you can use for whatever. So again, useful, for example, for social media communications. Another one, it's what we could call a simple RAG tool. Let's say you want to extract some information from documents or websites. So it's a kind of custom GPT, but free, and you can select the model that you want. So for example, for presentation today, I built a RAG tool, so a tool that can retrieve information from the EPA.gov website, so the Environmental Protection Agency in the US. And I want to know carbon greenhouse gas emissions in 2022. So the model will perform a web search for me on different sources. And what I especially like about this tool is that you will have the sources. So if you click on it, it will bring you to the website. So you can double check. And here's the answer. So in 2022, US greenhouse gas emissions totaled 6,343 million metric tons of carbon dioxide equivalents, which is the right answer. I double checked before, but you can click on them and so you can see I just built my assistant with a prompt and a tool, which is the document parser. And I just told the model, you have to retrieve information from the apa.gov website. And another interesting example is that you can simply upload a document and chat with it. So for example, here, let me see if I have the original file. Yes. So I think you can see it on my screen or not. Okay, but it's a PDF written by the US Department of Justice about the federal voting rights laws. So you can just upload the document. You can see you have a button here. So here's my file. I will upload it. And I can ask questions such as, what's my deadline to register to vote? And it will parse the document and give me some information about it. As you can see, this model, this tool is powered by, I think it's powered by Cohere Commander. You can choose your model, by the way, but this model is really efficient for tool calling, and it's very cautious. It has been trained to, I won't say it will never hallucinate, but it's really, really cautious. So it will tell you, by the way, you should check your state selection website for specific information. So it's really cautious, so quite helpful. I won't publish it like without double checking if I need, but it's useful for a research phase or something like that. So again, a tool that you can use quite easily. This one is very interesting. Let's say you want to extract information from images or handwritten letters. So let's say you have a lot of police reports, or I don't know, and you want to extract the information from this. An interesting example is the Washington Post. During the electoral campaign, they analyzed the text that was, what you can see here with the different thumbnails. There are a lot of text in the videos, so they used an LLM to retrieve the text from these images. You can do it with a very, very powerful model developed. I think it's from Alibaba. It's called Quen. And so you can upload a document. So my personal benchmark for this kind of tool is the presidential handwritten letters, so the transition letters written to their successors. So here it's George W. Bush to Barack Obama. And so I upload my file and I would just ask the model OCR, so optical character recognition, this image. I put plain text only, and I click submit. And so you can wait a little bit and it will extract the text. You can see it's quite fast. And as I said, it's my personal benchmark for handwriting recognition, because presidential candidates write like, I don't know, it's like, nobody writes like that, but it's really hard to decipher even when you are a human. So this model is very, very performant on my personal benchmark. And because for this letter, it's 100% accuracy. So quite useful for this kind of tasks. Let's say you want to generate a caption from an image. So here, because let's say you want some inspiration or you want some help to analyze a wide set of images, you can ask a model to generate the captions. So you can more easily search through your data what kind of image is interesting for you. So here, I asked the model to caption the image, just like, my prompt is very, very simple, which is caption this. And so the answer is like, the image shows an Argentine professional footballer, Lionel Messi, la la la. So really easy. This model is, it's this one. So Meta Llama 1B, 11B, so 11 billion parameters, vision instruct. So it means that it can understand images. So here's my example. And you can also be more precise, let's say, write short caption for this in less than 10 words. And it will try to retrieve the information. We'll see how it goes. A little bit slow because of my connection. Okay, I see a question while we wait from Kimberly. The handwriting recognition tool is really efficient in many different languages and including non-Occidental, non-Western languages, because it has been pre-trained on a large corpus of different languages. If my memory is correct, it's 30 languages, something like that. So quite good at multilingual capabilities. And so here you see your results. Argentina's Lionel Messi scored a goal. Well, we don't know if he scored a goal, but he tried to in a soccer match. So the model followed my instructions correctly. And this one, again, when you see web GPU, it means it's on your device. So you don't send anything to an external model or API or server. So it's confidential. So if you're dealing with sensitive data, it could be quite useful. And it makes me think about something quite important. Every interaction that you have in Hugging Chat or in a space on Hugging Face is not logged in every way. We don't log anything, so we don't train models with your interactions, etc. So you can. It's really like privacy by design. Good question for M. Smith. You can chat with large scrolls of documents, but it's something we will see tomorrow in the intermediate session because it needs some coding. So you can build what we call the pipeline. You can call the model, you can connect your data, and it will perform the tasks. So we will see this tomorrow if you're interested. Let's say you have a chart and you want to extract some information, so the data, so that you can, for example, recreate the chart in your own style guide or a visual guide. So let's say we'll take this chart, and so you can ask question about the chart, but also here I'm going to ask it extract the data from this chart. And if everything goes well, we will have a table that we can use in our Google Sheet or Excel. So as you can see, structure it in a table. can be more precise or accurate. And while we are waiting, there's a question in French. So you manage to integrate AI on the platform you are using? Yes, in fact, we're an AI development platform. So as you can see, my prompt was more precise, accurate, and you can just copy paste this in a Google Sheet, and you will have, you will be able to recreate the chart. But you can also ask the model some questions about the chart if you want to have some guidance. Hugging chat. So we saw some example, but if you want to, for example, brainstorm or proofread something, this model is quite good. It's a Quen 72B instruct. So I'm going to show you a more interesting example here. You want to improve your SEO. So I just built an assistant. Basically, I prompted something. It's a very structured prompt that I improved over time with some comments from colleagues and some, trial and errors. The prompt is public, so you can copy it, improve it, paste it in your own assistant. You can select the model that you want to use. And so let's say for the sake of our example, I will take this article without the headline. So let's say we all work for the BBC. Oops, sorry. So I'm going to copy this article. And where is my assistant? Sorry, too many windows opened. Can I find it? Okay, here it is. So I'll just paste my content. So you can see paste content here. And it will improve SEO. And so it will perform its tasks. So the first task is to analyze what kind of content it is. So this is a breaking news article. The language is in English. And so there are 5 different suggestions of articles with following SEO rules. So for example, I don't want my headline to be more than 90 characters. So we could count, but from what I can see, it follows the rules. I also want some meta descriptions, keywords, some URL structure examples, and a kind of checklist at the end. Did I include some internal links or that kind of thing? And so you can see your 5 different examples here. And let's compare them to article. So it's more a question since it's based on a different angle, but it contains the important keywords, and I don't see it as a tool that will write the headlines for you, but more like as an inspiration. Sometimes you're alone with your text and you're like, oh, how can I headline it? It's very, very helpful for kind of a creativity boost, especially at the under deadline. So quite useful. And you can create an assistant for a wide array of use cases. You can share your assistant in the newsroom. It's with the public, or it can be just for you. You can select different models, open source models each time. You can set the temperature and some parameters, but it's more technical and it's optional, I'd say. And you can see here, you can activate the web search, the domain search. So this is something I did with the API.gov later on, and you can write your prompt. As you can see, there's also an option to have dynamic prompt. So let's say you have it's more kind of advanced feature, but let's say you have a spreadsheet with interesting information that you want to retrieve in your prompt. You can program your assistant to retrieve this kind of information. And if you heard about recently the reasoning models, there is also this one. called the QWQ. So for example, if I ask it, how many are in strawberry, which is funny enough a complicated task for normal models, I'd say. You will see that if everything goes well, it will be able to retrieve the correct number of errors in the word. By the way, when we talk about artificial general intelligence, you can see that for a very simple question, it needs sometimes processing it. So I think us humans have a good future along in front of us. But as you can see, the answer is correct. This result is a total of 3 hours in the word. If you want to run models on your device, which means you won't call any API or server. And again, it's something very important for us because we embrace privacy by design, and for investigation or daily use, it's very important. There are several options that you can find. One that I like is LM Studio. So you can download on Mac, on Windows, on Linux. It really depends on your computer, but for example, mine is not that recent, and it can decently run 8 billion parameter models quantized. So it's like compressed, but it's very good. And the cool thing is that you can download and call every model that is on the Hugging Face hub on your computer. And there's a wide catalog of different models. You can do some trial and errors, but you have models from Qwen, from Meta, from Mistral, from Microsoft. You can have some more research models if you want. So very, very useful. Recently, we released a small model called Small, which is 1.7 billion parameters model. And so it's really small, but we kind of overtrained it. And so the performance is really, really higher than other small models. So for example, you can personalize it to help you proofread your emails, summarize content, that kind of thing. And everything is on your device. It's private, it's secure. So yeah, really important. Another thing we developed is AI, like AI models in Google Sheets. So for example, if you're a data journalist, or if you just do some content analysis in Google Sheets, you can call a model on the hub and help you do some tasks. So for example, here, let me show you an example. Oops. Okay, the GIF is here. So you can see the GIF. I can ask some information, but also perform some tasks. So for example, please classify this comment. You're a doofus. It will classify it as, you can publish it, or it needs moderation. Or the fourth example, please extract entities from this text. Florent works at Hugging Face in Montreal. It will extract my name, the organization, and the location. But you can also ask more specific questions, such as extract the location from this cell. It will only extract Montreal, for example. We did a couple of tests that were really interesting, such as, you have a column with many data, including postal codes. You can extract the postal codes in another column. So it's really good. You can prompt it the way you want. You can call different models. So it's very easy to install in your Google Sheet add-on. So again, a very efficient and easy to use no-code solution. And a recent example I really like is if you want to you have an idea of an app or a website, a homepage, a page you want to code or something like that. You can ask a model to help you build a basic code. So for example, I'm trying to study Chinese, and I'm gonna ask the model build a flashcard web app to help me review my Chinese lessons. So very basic prompt. We're going to see the result, and we can iterate from this. So as you can see, it starts to code something. So it writes everything that you can later on copy paste in your environment. And we're going to see the results. So it's very basic. Click on it. So you can improve it. Like let's say display the words in Chinese, and when I click on it, the word in English. So you can just iterate with your prompt, and the result will gradually improve. So you can have a working piece of code that you can have on your website after that. For example, here it worked. Need to resize my screen to help me review my Chinese lessons. And let's say 5 words Chinese. I'm gonna click. You get the idea. I'll just write. And I can see there are some questions that I'm gonna take the word. Just wait for the final result. Some fancy option. You need to iterate a little bit, but with prompting, decent prompting, you could get a result in 10 minutes and just spend like 2 minutes on it. So that could be quite good. And yeah, if you want to keep in touch, I'm on LinkedIn, I'm on X, and have a newsletter where I try to keep pace with AI developments. And I think it'd be useful for you if you want to follow what's happening on AI. So let's see what kind of questions do you have. Okay, so we can go have your account. Yes, you can follow me on Hugging Face. Also, I have an account. Is Hugging Face a free tool? It is. You have some paying options, but it's more like for big companies. But for journalists and newsrooms and media organizations, the free tier is more than enough in many cases. So you can explore a lot. In my daily job, I never felt the need to subscribe to the paying options. So it's really, really powerful for this. Ada asks if we retain any data uploaded. Well, it depends what you mean by data uploaded. If you upload a data set on the hub, so I'm going to show you here. When you explore the hub, you have the models here. It's something we will explore further for the next session. But you can also have data sets that you want to share with the community. So if this is the sense of your question, you can upload data sets. You can decide what kind of license you want to have with this data set. So for example, do you permit commercial use or that kind of thing? You can really personalize what you want to do with this. But in terms of the data that you upload in the examples I gave you with Hugging Chat, no, we don't retain the data. Again, we embrace privacy by design, so we don't train models with your interactions, with your data. This is not something we do. I'm beginner in AI. In AI, can I do this? Yes, you can. Everything I showed is no code, or almost no code, but a lot of different tools are really tailored for like beginners. And from there, you can learn, you can iterate and improve, hype up your game, I would say. Is there a feature can do the work of creating a graph in reverse? Probably you can, yes, I think it depends on the model, but with good prompting, you can ask a model to establish a visual relationship graph for sure. What can investigative journalism use in face? Well, I hope the examples I give you today are useful because they are secure and private. But come back tomorrow. I will have more advanced examples, and I think for some investigation use cases, it could be very, very interesting and powerful. Fact-checking tools. It's a good question. We have it depends what you mean by fact-checking tools, but for example, we have a watermarking tool, so you can. Let me show you back. But this thing could be interesting for you, but I need to double check, but I can add something tomorrow if you want. And where it ends the data that's uploaded depends. Again, if you upload a data set to be shared publicly or privately with your team, it's on the hub. But if you upload data in the Hugging Chat interface, it's not going to be stored. If you delete your chat, otherwise, when you upload something, it's uploaded on a cloud bucket. Depending on where you are located, it's either in the US or in Europe. And if you run it on device, well, you don't upload anything to the server, so it's private. How do you navigate? Prepping especially. Well, you have the presentation, so feel free, like all the links are in the presentation, so we'll find the no-code solution in the beginning. And again, the most powerful or easy to use resource is the journalist and reading face community. You have every collection with a lot of things that I don't address today, but many powerful tools. For example, LLM evaluation, that kind of thing. The AI scraper is here, and so on. So thank you very much.